So good morning. I've been out in the garden. My glasses might still be dark. I don't know. I've been supervising a job that Tom's doing, and we found a potato, or he did. So I'll cook it today for lunch. Anyway, you know that I'm not trying to say anyway, and I did it already, but I like to write, and I don't write like I used to, but I used to write a lot. Now I just don't do a lot of anything. Anyway, I've read some out of the little book that I wrote for my family called My Significant Others, but today I want to read a little bit, just this much, from our ranch life in 1960 and when we first got there. So bear with me. It says no TV. Nope, no TV. The ranch was too far out for television, which was one of the best things about the ranch as it turned out. A real plus, we were better off without it. The kids found other ways to amuse themselves, and we found the neighbors to be enough entertainment. The driveway was about a mile to our ranch. Then it continued on to cross the river, past the little house where the Mihalos lived, and it ended at Big Pete's place. The Mihalos were a couple, John and Viola, who were helping the Minks, a place between us and Big Pete. The Minks' place there was just a ranch. He lived at another ranch down the road, down almost in another town. I use the word help loosely, as I think it was more help to them than they were to Mr. Mink. The kids loved them, and we learned a whole new vocabulary from them. We had a beagle dog, and they had a receiver, also known as a retriever. They heated their place with bouton. We had a wood stove. In the fall, they told us all the trees would go dormitory. But the best day for us was when John M. came up to tell us he had a problem with Mink's prize bull. Yes, it had a breeding problem. B-R-E-E-D-I-N-G, problem. To fix it, John has stuffed the bull's nose with Copenhagen, stuffed tobacco. The bull didn't take to it kindly and broke down the corral and disappeared. Had we seen it? We hadn't, but our heifers had. By the time Mink had rounded up his bull and got him back in the new repaired corral, he had serviced all of our ladies. Our next calf crop was excellent, was outstanding. We couldn't detect any breeding problem. John M. informed us when the bull got back home, he seemed to be breeding normally again. So the snuff had cleared up his nose after all. John M. was happy. We were happy. Mr. Mink, well, that's a different story. So that's my little story for the day. And we had moved on to that ranch in 1968 from just an ordinary American family where, well, we had 10 acres that we moved off of. We had a new home that Tom had built us, and he had a good job, and we left it. And from then on, it was a real learning experience what the real world out there was like, or the ranch world. So, here we are today, and yesterday I finally made a video that I made so many mistakes and I couldn't edit it, so I deleted it. So here we are today, and what I did yesterday that you didn't see, I had Vinegar's herbs soaking in my vinegar that needed to be taken off. So I did, and it's in the refrigerator right now, and it's my ginger and elderberry. It had set not quite a month, but close enough. Vinegars, you can 2 weeks to 6 weeks or whenever. Some I've let go longer than that because I didn't really need them. Anyway, how I use this again is I put it in my morning drink, 1 to 3 teaspoons, usually just 1, but sometimes more, especially if I feel like I'm coming down with any little thing. It's good for your immune system. It's just a good overall good drink to start the day with. Well, and then I started some more vinegars, and I'm going to tell you what I did, and I'm going to check on them. First of all, I wanted to do things out of my garden. So my lavender, I've picked a lot, and so I have lavender in this one and basil. It seems like an unlikely combination, but they go together. And so it's in here. I made lavender before. I can't remember if I liked it or not, but I can put it in salad dressings, put it in meat dishes that I'm cooking, tomato sauces, whatever. Okay, and then this one, and you should check them periodically. I put in blueberries, not from my yard, but they're organic blueberries, and from my yard, lemon verbena. And I'm going to let that set, maybe until the next full moon. Okay, and just because I can remember it that way better. Okay, I was going to show you, something else, but, shoot. Anyway, these will sit now, like I say, and I'll check them, because I want to make sure if the little pieces of lavender, and they float up to the top, if they get caught on the edge and they can't get covered with the vinegar, they will mold. Down in the vinegar, it's not going to mold. Anything that's really soaked with vinegar, it just can't mold. So we're going to put these aside. That's what I did. And then I put these over here. And they will extract all the nutrition, all of the vitamins, minerals out of them in that time. Now what I'm going to do today, and this is basically what I did yesterday, except yesterday I didn't put a cloth on my nylon strainer. You could use coffee filters, but I'm using a cheesecloth, and it's a little stained because I've used it over and over and washed it between. What I have in here, and I've been soaking it now for a month, is yarrow, and it's in the menstruum is, I believe, maybe vodka and brandy. Does it say on here? No, this one doesn't say. I should have written it so I would know. And what it will do, it's made out of yarrow. I've heard tell that some people have said if there's only one herb to have, it's yarrow. It's good for your digestive system. It tones up your tissues. It helps with prolapses in your body. It's just a good herb. Helps stop bleeding. And this also came from my garden. So it's a little, and it was fresh when I put it in. So it's made from fresh out of my garden. And when I picked it, I let it set overnight so it would sort of get as much, it would dehydrate just a little bit, so it wouldn't be so liquidy and dilute it quite so much. So it's going to be a little difficult to squeeze, but okay. Anyway, I'm getting it out of there. Now, what's left in here, I'll go put in my garden. And that's what I did with my vinegar that I put in the refrigerator. It went out into my garden this morning. Okay, now now some people then go a step further and they would decant it. But, and that means you'd let it sit because there will be some residue that will go down to the bottom. Life is short for me. I'm not doing that. And I sterilized these bottles, and I'm just going to start pouring them into my little bottles. If there's anything, it'll settle in my little bottle. Oh, and you know, most of the time, and I should have done this, I'm not sure, wait just a minute. I'm going to start over again. I think this holds 8 ounces. And that way, because it's hard to watch, wait, I want to tear that clear off. Okay, when I see 8 ounces on my scale, I'll know that my bottle is full. And I shouldn't run it over that way. And I'm up to 4, maybe this is not an 8-ounce bottle. Let me just see where I'm at. Well, it's too dark, I can't. Boy, it could be. I'm over. Yeah, it's probably 8. I'm up to 7. Okay. I'm going to say that's it. That's close. And you know, maybe I can get a little more. It's 7.55. Okay, this is as close as I'm going to go. And where is its little lid? Like I say, I sterilized this morning. Now, I am going to make a label for it. And I used to do it on my computer and make really fancy, nice little labels, and you can do that, but now I just write out it's yarrow, and it's the 18th season of yarrow, I mean the year 18, so I know, and today I'll put today's date on it, and I'm going to write, it's good for digestion. I'm going to put that on just to give me a clue. It's good for blood pressure, so I'm putting some of that. And so, and I could put the menstruum, if I could remember if it was brandy or, but I've got a clue. I know how old it is, I know what it is, and a little bit what it's used for. So, we go for the next one. Now this is only 4 ounces, so we'll watch it. Whoa! Okay, I went a little over, so what I'm going to do, but not over enough. Good. And I'll put the label on that one. Oh! Well, I think I'll just start over here. Okay, yarrow. Okay, and the date. And some uses. And this one I'm writing a little bit different. I'm going to write it's astringent. That means it'll tone up the tissues. Okay. And it gets a label. Okay, I think I'll go for another one. This is also 4 ounces. And it's back down to 0. I'm going to try to watch it a little bit better. We're almost there. Did the same thing, but I know it'll fit. Okay. Now, I'm not going to do the last, but I want to tell you a little bit. This will last. Some people say it lasts indefinitely. Some people say 3 years. Some people say 6 years. And how will I use it? Okay? Because I'm older, I wouldn't use as much as somebody younger than I am. Some people use it by dropperfuls. What I usually do is a scant teaspoon in some water. And it's one that I might use more on a regular basis because it does so much good. But I don't do it every day. And lots of times I'll do it at night because also it will help you sleep. So that's another plus for yarrow. It relaxes you and helps you sleep. And it's calming, it's for your blood pressure, it's astringent, it tones up your tissues, and that, whoa, that's good. And so I'll use it on and off. Now, if I were in flu season and I was sick, which I haven't had the flu, I've had a cold 7 years ago. The flu, I don't know how long. It was in the 90s someplace. Anyway, I would take it quite often. I might take it as much as 15 minutes apart. Herbs don't work like medicine. They do work. They work really good, but you have to take them often. So initially, if I were sick, I would take them pretty often, maybe 15 minutes apart for a while, and then maybe 3 times a day, and then maybe twice a day, and then maybe back to once a day. It depends on how I would feel. But, and if you're taking an herb like that, and that particular herb, you don't notice any difference after you're really, hitting it hard, then try a different herb. You're a different constitution and different makeup than I am. We don't all react the same. So maybe pick another herb, like an echinacea or elderberry or something that works well with you. And experience will tell you that. So that's what I'm doing. That's my medicine. And that's part of how I survived the 80s. So have a good day. Oh, and another thing about my writing. Life is an adventure. Start a journal and write down different things that you're going through. When Tom heard, I read that the other day to Tom, and when he heard it, it brought back some neat memories, and he enjoyed it. So enjoy your day, and off I go.